"Honey, could you stop by the street market and grab us something to eat?" This is a common request among every married couple, but for Marcos, a young Adventist pastor, it was a very difficult thing to hear. Just married, while the country was heading to hyperinflation rates, Mary and Marcos were also facing a terrible financial crisis shortly after they decided to raise their promises percentage from 3 to 5%. They still had 2 weeks before they received their next paycheck, and there was no money left, not even to buy food. After pouring out his heart to God that morning, Marcos found some unexpected money in a pocket that was usually barely sufficient to buy some bananas. Surprisingly, that day, he realized at the street market that the money was actually enough to also buy a dozen oranges and even some zucchini. How could it happen if prices never go down during a hyperinflation condition? Later, on that same day, while feeding their chicken in their yard, a neighbor offered him some lettuce and kale from their garden. As Marcos finished feeding the chicken, the sound of a falling avocado reminded him that an elderly neighbor pastor had asked him to pick his avocados and share the harvest with him. When Mary arrived at home, she couldn't believe what she was seeing. Bananas, oranges, zucchini, lettuce, kale, and avocados. The couple knelt before the produce to thank their provider for such blessings. Realizing that it would be impossible for them to eat it all, Mary suggested they could share the food with Marcos's parents. At his parents' home later that night, after he shared the produce, his mother offered him 2 whole wheat loaves of bread and 3 liters of milk. As Marcos drove back home, tears of awe for God's greatness flooded his eyes. God is the same yesterday, today, and forever. As we return our tithes and offerings, let us put our trust in His faithful and true promises. May we put our desires last and God first.